Hello, everybody. Today I'm headed to the little town of Dixon, Illinois for an estate auction put on by Kitson Auctioneering. It's actually their family's personal property, the land that their Christmas tree farm was on, and I understand a pretty good portion of their personal tractor collection. The reason I'm heading out here in particular is there's supposed to be some really good Gravely stuff, some early stuff, some hard to find stuff. Um, Found out about this auction when Andrew Kitson, who's the owner of Kitson Auctioneering, started promoting it on the Facebook Gravely groups. So part of me hopes that there's a lot of people out here and they make good money. And another part of me hopes I get some good deals. So we're just going to have to see what happens. It's about an hour and a half before bidding's going to start. I decided to get here nice and early so I could kind of get a game plan together, look over everything. I noticed this V plow in one of the preview videos that Andrew Kitson put out. I was really hoping it was an early Gravely V plow, but as you can see by the attachment, it's not. I'm not sure what this actually goes to, but somebody will pick it up today and probably put it to good use. It looks like we got some 30-inch rotary mowers. This one's a 185 gearbox, kind of leaky. Front guard's beat up. And yeah, that blade's pretty much worn out. Just not interested in that today. I've got a left-hand gearbox leaking too, but it's got the cross blades, and the blades look like they've got a lot of life left on them. I may have to think about that. Little snow cannon. It's a quick hitch type, and the hitch is there. Looks like we've got the clutch, double U joint, the horn. It's missing the studs, but reasonably complete. Snowblower's seen better days, but most of them have. And let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, the chute control is locked up, so this thing's going to need some work. It's like a stamped hood for an electric Start L. Got a 106 gearbox rotary mower with a good guard. And let's see here. That is really dry underneath. No leaks. Blade looks good. Well, this is a heck of a nice little rotary mower. Do I need another one? Not really. I think I'd probably get more use out of that left-hand deck with the dual blades. Nice little dog eater snowblower. I've got one of those that I don't use now, so I really don't need another one. And another snow plow. This one's got the little shoes on it, which they usually don't have. But again, I just don't need another snow, or I don't need a snow plow at all, really. Fortunately, I can't make out the dealership on that one, but looks like a bunch of sulkies. Some of them have the clamshell, some of them don't. Um, yeah, not interested in a riding sulky. I've got one. I don't know why I would need two. That's a really nice steering sulky if somebody's looking for one. Um, Estate sulkies, you don't see these very often. They're pretty cool. They're kind of nice and comfortable. They're just bulky. I don't think I really need this, but it's got what I think is the original seat. Seat's got some condition issues, but I actually know a couple who makes reproductions for these because they were used on more than just Gravely tractors. But I don't know. Somebody might get a good deal on that today. What is pretty hard to find is this Planet Junior two-row cedar frame for a Gravely. Unfortunately, the cedars of the planters themselves are just basically piles of parts. But the real hard to find thing is actually this frame. From what I understand, you could put it on a Model L, you could put it on a D. Looks like they've got it on a tool holder like they had it on an L, but that's a really hard to find item. Somebody's going to like having that. Looks like a front cart. Um, I think the running gear's all there. Tires are nothing special. Wood is, it's pretty much a total loss. they've got online bidding available on this cart, and honestly, the online bidding is already above what I would be looking to pay for this. But you know what? I hope whoever buys it's going to be happy with it. I just know that's not going to be me today. Looks like we got a Model L with another little snow cannon snowblower. What's funny is how many of these that front guard, that bar is bent, like somebody winches them onto a trailer by that bar and bends them up. See, unlike the other one, this is not the quick hitch. This is the normal one with the chain drive chute control, and that chute control is just running nice and smooth. This is a good snowblower. The machine itself looks good. Throttle works, choke works. Looks like everything's there except the hood. And that is a 1965. I'll bet that hood laying over there goes to this tractor. Let's see what the inside of the gas tank looks like. That smells like varnish. Not a big deal. It's not difficult to clean that up. It's just something someone's going to have to do. Just for grins, yeah, they got a good battery on this thing, and starter works. It does turn over. I don't think this is going to take much to get this thing running. Somebody's going to be really happy with this thing today. Then we've got a steel ride-on Gravely cart. Goes behind a two-wheel tractor. It's actually supposed to have a roller rest, not the clamshell. Not a big deal. You can always use a clamshell on something else. Oh boy, the chainsaw. This is the early chainsaw with that offset gearbox. According to the auctioneer, this is supposed to be a new old stock chainsaw. Apparently, it came out of a dealership in Rockford. Supposedly, it's never been on a tractor, but I don't know. I think it's, from what they said, it got rusted just sitting on this trailer and getting driven around and displayed at different shows. But I mean, it's complete. I don't think it'd take much to get that thing fixed up. What's almost impossible to find, though, is the oiler. And gosh, I don't want to say this one is too far gone, but that condition's pretty bad. You know, this goes for the right money. I might be interested in it today. I'm not too sure. Next thing we've got is a front PTO for a walk-behind tractor that's set up to run belt drive accessories. I'm not sure if that is how it came from Gravely or not. We've got a engine block heater for Model L. Gotta be honest, the first one of these I've ever seen in person. It's kind of neat. It's not something that I would use, but you know, it's cheap enough I might want to buy it. Got a tool holder with a scraper blade. I just bought one of those a couple months ago. Um, Little sulky with a lawn roller. Those are handy. I don't really need one. A sickle bar with the regular bar and with the 60-inch field mower. Those are kind of hard to find. I'm not sure if this actually came from Gravely this way or somebody just took a left-handed gearbox and bolted a saw blade onto it. I'm not sure. They used a bunch of different gearboxes for the circular saws over the years, but I already have a circular saw, so I'm not looking to buy another one. Looks like we got a snowblower for a postal tractor with a chute deflector somebody made, and a postal tractor with a plow on it. Kind of neat. Don't think that's the original gas tank for it, unless, you know, this was a red tractor somebody repainted before it went to the post office. I'm not sure. But, you know, it's got the U.S. Postal Service tags on it, so it is an original postal tractor. Just, you know, I've seen these restored and they're really cool, but just not a project I'm looking for right now. Got the three gang reel mower with the shrouds or with the shields, which is really cool, but it's missing the little part where you can nest the two side reels onto the top. It looks like it's missing that. Um, but yeah, it's just not something I'm interested in. Looks like it's starting to rain here today too. Hopefully it won't be too bad. They've got an original Neiman or Nyman, however that's pronounced, the roof stripper. These things were made for like stripping flat roofs. I don't think anybody's really figured out another use for one of those. They're really cool, but I don't know. They just kind of sit there. Got a power broom with some kind of a guard on the front. And it looks like a cultivator and a tool holder. Kind of standard stuff. It does have the directional controls are all there, which is good. I do need a set of those spoke wheels. I don't need a rotary plow, but I do need wheels. This was a tractor that I was really looking at in the preview, was this Model D. Um, I don't know. I really would like to have a Model D, but I don't know. I don't know enough about them. Condition-wise, this one, um, it doesn't look all that hot. Looks like it's mostly complete, but it also looks like it's going to require a pretty fair amount of work. Yeah, parts aren't very easy to come by like on a Model L. Model L, you can just go on eBay and buy parts for them if you need to. I guess the good thing is it's got the Edison magneto and the Zenith carburetor on it, so those are kind of easier to work on, easier to find stuff for, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I've seen auctions where these things have gone for crazy money, and this is actually only the second one I've ever seen in person at an auction. So I'll be interested to see what it brings today. It's still got the air cleaner. Those usually are missing from what I understand. Somebody's going to be happy with it. I just don't think it's a tractor for me, though. I don't know enough about Model Ds, and I don't know. I don't think I need something else that's just going to kind of sit in the garage and look cool. Looks like we've got a utility scoop for a walk-behind tractor. I don't know. At first glance, condition doesn't look too bad, except it's missing the entire dump mechanism, which I guess is pretty standard. These things get taken off, and the dump mechanism just kind of gets lost. But I want to understand it can be fabricated, so for the right price, I'm definitely interested in this. And it looks like a two-piece disc mounted onto a tool holder. That is actually what I'm about 99% sure is the early disc that Gravely sold. I've heard that they were made by Planet Junior. I've never been able to find one in a Planet Junior catalog. If you've got more information, let me know. And it looks like a pretty nice electric start Model D, but it's got a front cart yoke on it, which is kind of interesting because there's no other carts for sale. But I don't know, maybe they got another cart in their collection and they forgot the yoke. I'm not sure. This thing looks like it's in really good shape. I thought Andrew, the auctioneer, had made a comment about the thing being powder coated, which is pretty cool. Looks like it's got gas tank. Doesn't look like it's full of varnish or anything. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Looks like it's all complete. I have no idea if the starter works on it. The battery's probably no good. I don't know. I honestly, I don't think it would take much at all to get this particular machine running either. This is really the tractor that's got me here today. This is a Gravely Model L with a Jenkins overhead valve conversion on it. I've wanted one of these Jenkins kits for a long time. And I've seen two of them go up for sale in the last few years. Both of them were not on tractors. My understanding is neither of them were complete, and both of them apparently had some condition issues. So I guess if you're going to buy a Jenkins, I think the best way to do it is to buy it on a tractor. That way you get all the parts, including those little hollowed out bolts for the oil returns, the lifters. You get everything. And this one looks like it's complete from the best of my knowledge. Andrew, the auctioneer, said they had this running last year. He's a trustworthy guy. I have no reason to doubt him. So I am really interested in this tractor today. And, it's got a governor on it. It's got a later carburetor. Somebody even put a starter solenoid. So somebody got a starter switch on this thing. Someone really went all out putting this tractor together. It's kind of cool. Something else that's really cool about this tractor that barely showed up in the previews is this aftermarket chain and sprocket remote PTO. It was made by a company called Bordeaux. It's not a super rare thing, but you don't see them very often. They're kind of cool. Looks like the shipper shaft's a little locked up on this one, so that'll have to be addressed. But it is complete. It's kind of cool. There's not very many of them, I don't think, that are out there. It's just kind of a neat little add-on on this tractor. It looks like they've got a pretty good sized sprayer here. A friend of mine and I were kind of talking about this, looking at the preview photos of whether or not this was missing parts, and we're not too sure. It's just not something I've got room for, I've got a use for, but it's a pretty cool thing. Someone's going to be happy with it today. Right next to the sprayer, you see this WW shredder. It's not a chipper shredder. It's like a compost shredder. It's what's really cool. It's little, it's small, it goes on a two-wheel tractor. From what I understand, they really get the job done, and this one does look complete. I wouldn't mind having it, but I'm bidding on some stuff on behalf of a friend, and this is something he wants, so I'm gonna have to let this one go today. We've got this trailer with a bunch of Gravely parts on it, including a set of gear reduction wheels. And let's see. Yep, pinion gears are in there. Well, someone's going to be happy with that. Could definitely use that hood. I don't think that drive shaft is Gravely. Yeah, just a bunch of random parts. That could be the power cord to the engine block heater, but I don't know why it wouldn't be over there. A bunch of pull straps. I don't know. Can you have too many of those? I'm not sure. It's a nice early leather one. Nice broken leather one. That looks like a tool for setting safety clutches. That's kind of neat. Like I said, just a bunch of random parts. And I got this plastic tote over here in the corner. And it looks like, yeah, that tote's full of banners. Definitely going to have to do some more poking around on that. And then looks like we got some tire chains, some dually wheels, and some split rims. When I go to auctions like this, I generally don't record the bidding. And the reason for that is that I'm trying to buy things. And if I'm trying to buy things, I probably need to pay attention to the auctioneer, not my camera. Especially at this auction where I am bidding on things on behalf of a friend of mine. It's really just not my place to broadcast what he's paying for stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and shut my camera off and get to the reason that I came here. See what I can pick up today. I finally made it home, got everything unloaded and laid out in the driveway. Um, I did buy some things on behalf of a friend of mine that aren't being shown here because, yeah, it's just not my place to show you what somebody else bought. But let's take a look at what I picked up. I did get the utility scoop. I know there's some condition issues to it. I think I can fix this thing up. I want to mount it on a front mount kit on my 812 garden tractor. I think it'll really come in handy there. I've already got a couple projects I could use it for, but I'll have to fabricate a dump, mechanism for it. That shouldn't be hard. I did notice after I got it home that there's some damage to the scoop, underneath here. And I'm guessing that's why somebody put this little wear strip on there. But again, not the end of the world, can be fixed. My little splurge purchase for the day, I guess, was this engine block heater. I have no use for it. I've just never seen one. I thought they're pretty neat. And it looks like it's in decent condition. Both of the pins are there. One of these days, I may plug it in just to see if it warms up. I had to pick up the little safety clutch tool. Now, obviously, the spring scale isn't original Gravely, but I'm inclined to believe that the tool itself here is. I've seen similar things that apparently came from dealerships. If you know, drop me a line. I'd love some more information on it. But basically, how it works is you just slide the end of it right into your safety clutch like this. You lock your attachment. You pull down on your scale, and when the scale hits 30 pounds, the clutch should slip. Kind of a neat little tool. It's not needed. It's just nice extra, I guess. I did manage to come home with the quick hitch. It's got the horn. It's got the dual U joint. I found the studs in a parts box, so that was nice. Now, I didn't know Gravely made two different length bars for the short bars for the rotary plow. Got this real short one with 4 holes, a regular length with 3 holes, and of course I had to buy the long planter bar when I found that on a hay rack. Picked up the hood. That's going to come in handy. We'll talk about that in a minute. Um, Picked up a couple of hitches I don't need, but it was a bulk parts buy. So I got things I really didn't care much about. Nice little part of a remote PTO mechanism. Some axle hub shims. Those are nice to have extras of. Looks like a forward or reverse clutch for a riding tractor, and the clutch looks brand new, so that's nice to have. Just some shrouds. Got a battery box for a stamped hood electric start tractor. I did pick up both boxes of the pull start straps. I combined them here. I got one brand new, bunch of used ones, and a really nice complete early leather strap. We got this box. We got some shift levers, some handlebar supports, bunch of shipper shafts and dog gears. I don't think I need any more oil caps or oil tube stuff. Um, got a gasket, got a pulley that somebody put a rope notch into. And that looks like a knob off a riding tractor. So I'll put that with my 812 stuff. Got a couple of air intake tubes. Those are nice to have extras of. Got a carburetor, needs some work. A couple of mufflers. I think I got probably 4 of them now. A hub that's in decent shape. Picked up this shroud again. Really didn't want it, but got it with a bunch of stuff. The fan looks good. Nice stack of tires and split rims. And some of these tires are actually in pretty decent, probably usable condition. I did buy the rotary plow. I really didn't want to, but nobody else wanted it, and I do need a set of spoke wheels. So, and the wheels are free, they're not locked up. So, the wheels and the axle were more than, worth what I paid for it. So I'm happy with it. I did pick up the tool holder and the scraper blade. I just bought one of these scraper blades back in July from a friend of mine, so I didn't need another one, but the deal was just too good. Another thing that I really wanted to buy there was this disc setup. I've done as much research as I personally can on it, and I'm about 99% sure this is a very early Gravely disc. These came in, a 6 or an 8. This is the 6. It's got one wood block left. I can make those. I don't know what it says on this mount here. I'll have to look at it a little better. I know it's not Planet Junior, but I'm just not sure what it says. But I've seen pictures of these on Model Ds, on Model Ls, so it's something I'm going to restore, and I'm just glad that I got it. I picked up some pretty cool banners at the auction too. Not older ones, newer ones, but they were cheap. Somebody else will like them, and I'll send them down the road. I picked up a brand new Gravely flag. This will look great at tractor shows on the display booth. Of course, the main thing that I went to this auction to buy was that Gravely Model L with the Jenkins kit. And if you look at the serial number on this tractor, you'll find out it's a 1943, which, if you've been watching my videos long enough, is actually kind of funny because I seem to have a habit of falling into 1943 Model Ls. But I think it's great. They built this on a war era machine, even if there's not much war era remaining on it. Like somebody added a remote kill switch into the handlebar, which was a later Gravely thing. Really smart idea. And you see, there's a starter solenoid on this. Somebody had a starter switch on a Model L. It's really cool. But you still get a little 1943 flavor now and then. You still got the Tillotson sediment bowl. Of course, they added a governor, which is a fantastic idea. But this gas tank is, I believe, original as a 1943. It's period correct. The greatest thing about this tank, though, it's 82 years old and no rust inside. I may end up taking this tank and using it on my 43 restoration and using a later tank on this tractor. I'm not sure. But there's all sorts of little cool updates. They put a spin-on filter on it. You've got an oil pressure gauge, but you still got the original little oil bath air cleaner. You got the original hubs. Tires are in great shape. And then, really cool, somebody added this third-party remote PTO made by Bordeaux, this chain and sprocket PTO. Really a neat addition onto here. They're not very common. They're not super rare, but it's just a neat aftermarket item. And of course, somebody replaced the original cast iron carb with the um, later aluminum carb off the 7.6 horsepower engine, and all the linkage is working fine. It all runs nice and smooth. Um, it's just a really cool machine. I'm not sure what's with the yellow paint. There's at least 2 layers of yellow paint on this thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody wanted it to look like a postal. I'm not sure. It is missing the intake side air shroud. Not a problem. I can make one of those based off the exhaust side. That's pretty simple. Um, it's got, like I said, all the original Jenkins parts, even those little hollow bolts for the oil return. And somebody was pretty smart enough to go ahead and install a dipstick in this transmission, so you don't have to open up the tricock to check the oil. Really smart idea, and it's just a standard thing for later Model Ls. It does have a bit of an oil leak. I'm thinking that's coming from the valve cover gasket, but I'm not 100% sure. It's something to try to chase down another day. But I'm just glad I got it. Was able to bring it home, and it's going to end up in the rotation of project tractors. I may jump on it sooner than later. So, like I said, it was a great day at the auction. I got some pretty hard to find stuff. I got some pretty useful stuff. Paid up for a couple items, got deals on others. So thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on another episode.